Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be doing some equations practice. Now, before we dive into the equations practice, I want to make sure that we understand our big picture. When we are solving equations, we have a primary goal. The primary goal is to get the variable, now that could be the letter x in many of our situations, but it is to get our variable by itself. An equation has two sides, the left side of the equal sign and the right side of the equal sign. And the goal is to get the variable by itself and a number on the other side. This is the big picture, overarching goal is to get the variable by itself. Now, in order to do that, we need to use opposites to your advantage. Okay? Using opposites such as if you see it being a positive 5 being added, we need to use the opposite, a flip to the other side. The opposite of a positive would be a negative. Notice that is a side-side flip. And that opposite allows us to get the variable by itself. If you have a negative, well, you would side-side flip that to the other side, and instead of being a negative 2x, it's going to be a positive 2x. This is how we use opposites to our advantage. Now, both of these problems, I have almost isolated the variable. I almost have the variable by itself, but I want you to notice it's not all the way by itself, because I also need to use multiplication and division. Notice that the 6 is being connected by multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. When we are using tiles, we call this a regroup. If we have 6 tiles, I'm going to make 6 groups. If you take 30 tiles and divide it into 6 groups, you're going to get the answer x equals 5. Notice I have isolated the variable. I have the variable by itself. The number is on the other side. But you have to use opposites to your advantage. You have to, when you see a minus, you have to side-side flip and use addition to get it to the other side of the equal sign. Now, as you get into problems that are a little bit more difficult, there is a third component that you have to use. You have to look for like terms on the same side. So notice, I have the equal sign. When I say side, I mean left of the equal sign or right of the equal sign. Now, there are two ways that you can utilize like terms. I want you to notice here on the left, this is a combine like terms. This is saying 3 plus 5. They are on the same side, and so I have to combine them through addition. 3x plus 5x is 8x. On the other side of the equal sign, I want you to notice that I have a 6x and a negative 2x. In order to combine them, I need to use a zero pair. Notice, when we were using tiles, this would be a positive blue tile, and these would be two negative tiles. When we say a zero pair, that is telling us to say 6 minus 2 is 4x, and the 28 does not change. Now, once again, now that I have combined like terms, now I can begin to use opposites to our advantage. I'm going to go ahead and take this positive 4 to the other side by doing a side-side flip. The opposite of a positive is a negative 4x. That's a side-side flip. When I subtract, 4x equals, this 28 did not change. Now, I can see that this 4x is connected with multiplication. My final step is a regroup. That means divide. 4 divided by 4 is the big giant 1. That's what makes it disappear. 28 divided by 4, I get my answer, x equals 7. Now these are the big picture goals. You need to get the variable by itself. You need to use opposites to your advantage. And when the problems get a little bit more complicated, make sure that you are combining like terms on the same side, whether that's combine like terms through addition or zero pairs through subtraction. These are the big picture overarching goals.